Greetings Soulswind here, and welcome to Let's Play Dragon Throne Battle of Red Cliffs. This is a featurette episode where we talk about a specific topic in the game, and in this episode we're going to talk about siege engines. Siege equipment can be produced at the machine workshop. Some of the advanced siege equipment require researches to be completed before they become available. Let's start with some statistics. On screen, you can see the siege equipment that we have, their costs, and the statistics related to them, such as the shield, the armor, the move speed, etc. Siege equipment include scaling ladder, support wagon, 3 arrow bow, which I usually call ballistas, stone launching wagon, which I usually call catapults, Malefic kite, Kongming wagon, and thunder wagon, which I call thunder wagon. Let's begin with scaling ladders. Ladders allow dismounted units to get onto county walls, thereby not requiring players to take down an enemy gate which might be heavily defended, especially when there is no ranged siege units available. When instructed to deploy, ladders will find available spots on the targeted wall spot or nearby and then angle forward to contact the wall. Once in position, units can begin scaling the ladder. Mounted units will automatically dismount when told to ascend the ladder. The ladder does not allow descending. It is not a desirable siege equipment to use because of the pathing issue of the game, which makes units get stuck on the ladder or just ignore it and wander off to find alternative paths. I will also talk about destroying scaling ladders because it can be quite frustrating. The best unit tasked to destroy scaling ladders have to be ranged units, as they can fire at the ladders from a distance. Melee units on the walls can sometimes hit the ladders, yet sometimes not hit the ladders, which will make them wander out of the city to try reaching those ladders, therefore wandering into possible danger. Also, when attacking the base of the ladders, if the attacking unit is standing on the ladder when it is destroyed, the unit might be considered as being on the ladder and thus get killed due to falling off a destroyed ladder. Next, support or supply wagons. They can supply soldiers and let them regenerate outside of counties. They start with 150 buns or food and can be filled up with resources before leaving using the same interface in the villager action panel. The buns or food are not needed in the campaign other than making supply wagons, so if we have no plans to make any supply wagons or resupply any outfield camps, there is absolutely no need for bun workers or pigsties. When told to deploy, they will find the nearest available empty space and deploy. They can be repaired, but cannot undeploy. When soldiers are garrisoned in the camps, they will fire arrows out of the camps at enemies. That applies to even melee units garrisoned within. The range of the camps seem to be affected by range upgrades pertaining to siege equipment. Injured soldiers can also be garrisoned into camps to heal. As they heal, they consume the wine that is stored in the camps. In skirmish mode, soldiers lose strength when outside of counties, and they will need to replenish strength by garrisoning in the camps and consuming food or buns stored within the camps. When camps are destroyed, units garrisoned within will emerge. Malefic kites. They are used for sending units over enemy walls. Other obstacles where we can send Malefic kites over include rivers and outfield camp walls. The kites aren't affected by wind and can therefore be used to scout out landing points before sending actual units over. But because each kite can only take 2 units at a time, Malefic kites are more useful as a diversionary tactic used for sending a small group of fast soldiers over the enemy walls to disrupt the enemy's economy. A very important thing to note is that they can take mounted units as well, thereby allowing the diversionary force to be more tanky with the use of their horses. Kongming lanterns are scout siege units. In the lantern's action panel, there is a button to release the lanterns into the sky. The lanterns follow the wind and has a timed life, but because the wind is unpredictable, it makes this siege equipment not reliable, and thus not a worthy investment of resources. Even having Zhuge Liang or Kongming on our side, his meteorological knowledge will not help us with predicting winds, not in this game, and it's after Red Cliffs he's done borrowing winds. Just joking. Anyway, when there is no wind, the lanterns will stay on the spot and will still provide vision for the immediate area around it. Now for the stone launching wagon or catapult, as well as the thunder wagon, I'll talk about both of them together because they're pretty much the same unit, just that the thunder wagon is slightly stronger. They hurl stones in an arc over obstacles to hit at enemies behind said obstacles. It has a good range, helping it stay out of the range of enemy city gates defenders while dealing damage to it. Due to its significant area of effect damage, it is also useful in dealing with a cluster of stationary enemy units. Due to the traveling time of its projectile, it is not as useful against moving units. Stone launching wagons or catapults and thunder wagons have a high possibility of friendly fire, also due to the flight duration of its projectile. Now let's talk about the projectile range of the siege equipment. The range is calculated by steps, that is, 21 range is 21 steps, and that means 21 units in a straight line. The calculation excludes the shooter's current position, meaning that a shooter of 8 range can attack someone that is 9th in a line in front of it if they stand in a line such that there are no gaps in between. The catapults and the thunder wagons have a front-to-back footprint of 3 spots, meaning that they look like they take up 3 spots, but its current location is determined by the center of the unit. Both the stone launching wagon and the thunder wagon share the same attack range, that is 18, and a minimum range of 12. Apparently, the fire of the thunder wagon don't seem to hurt enemies standing in it, but it does have a big AoE range of 2 steps radius from the point of contact, with radiated damage being smaller than the targeted point. There's very little difference between the stone launching wagon and the thunder wagon, so if we do not have enough resources, stone launchers will be a better option. 3-arrowed bows, or ballistas. They are damage-dealing siege equipment. It fires 3 arrows in a straight line in front of it, and the arrows spread out as they approach the target. Because of their higher firing rate and the lack of a protracted projectile arc, it means that the projectiles are more likely to hit enemies. Now for their move speed, it's good, way too good, that it breaks the game. Why can siege units move as fast as, or even faster than a horse-mounted warrior? A 3-arrowed bow has an upgraded move speed of 6, while a stone launching wagon or a thunder wagon has an upgraded speed of 5. As a reference, a mounted swordsman and archer has a move speed of 4. A mounted pikeman, 5. Even for advanced units, a mounted crossbow, move speed 4. Gold pikeman, 5. Hammerman, 6. Heroes have 6 move speed. That means siege equipment such as the thunder wagon, the stone launching wagon, the 3-arrowed bow are faster than a mounted crossbowman. Although the stone launching wagon and the thunder wagons are at move speed 5, that's lower than the hammerman and the heroes or officers, there is an attack animation before damage is applied, which gives enough time for the siege engines to get out of range, and thus units often do not get to deal any damage to the siege engines before they resume their pursuits. That's made worse when the horses are often killed by the enemy soldiers, and therefore our units and heroes pursue the sieges on foot. Although I understand the need for a greater siege move speed for the game to not be too sluggish in the late game due to waiting for siege engines to arrive, but I still think that the speed element can be better implemented. Well, since siege might be the most suitable category to place the boats in, it will be here. The stats of the two boats, the sampan and the junk, are all visible on screen right now, while they're not permanent too, because since they're siege equipment, the siege enhancement upgrades at the academy apply to them as well. That also means the boats or the ships can get up to an impressive 8 move speed. Their functionality? Transportation, that's all. The sampan carries 10 people maximum, while the junk carries up to 23, meaning 1 control group. As we've seen in the campaign, they don't really have much use. There were only 2 episodes where the boats were actually featured, such as Mission 4 in Cao Cao's campaign to rescue the laborers, and the final mission in Sun Quan's campaign, where we could finally build a shipyard and produce our own transport ships to ferry our soldiers across a river because there is no other way to cross the river. Well, the boats cannot pass under any bridges, so whenever you see a bridge on a river, the shipyards won't really be useful. That's it for this episode discussing siege equipment in Dragon Throne Battle of Red Cliffs. Let me know in the comments if I've missed out anything. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I have for now. Have a nice day.